must admit, he can punch with both hands.
Oh, yeah.
He has knocked him out with a left hook and he's knocked him out with a right hand.
I think he's a banger. For featherweight, he's a genuine banger. I think because he's so fast, for one, and he's unorthodox. You don't know where they're coming from. And that's damage.
So you can see it in his legs, can't you? Where the power's coming from.
It's not the punch that knocks the guy out, it's the follow through.
So fast.
I know it's shot. I know it's fast.
And the guy coming forward as well.
Coming forward, he's got this ability to
catches him
bring
coming in.
shots.
He's so fast. The speed of the shot.
In the autumn of 1995, British boxing woke up with a new world champion. Naseem Hamed was to prove to be quite different from anything the public had seen before.
Your mind, your body, and your soul. You know what that means? I got something for your mind, your body, and your soul. You know what that means? Step off.
Right now, he's right there at the top.
He's got a lot of weaknesses, but the only thing is he gets away with it.
He'd be a great champion when it's all like myself.
His biggest is his strength. He's so confident that down the line could be his undoing.
He's Muhammad Ali, Georgie Best, Gaza, Arnold Palmer all wrapped into one. Watch him, enjoy him, and make the best of it, because when he's gone, people will look back and they think, bloody hell, he was brilliant.
He does things that other people would like to do but couldn't possibly do. I mean, it's all about timing, rhythm, confidence. He's got it all.
I love his attitude. Like, people will say he's a bit mouthy and he's this and that, but he's backing it up, you know, because he's knocking MFs out, you know what I'm saying? He's knocking them out of there. So, you know, as long as he can do that, he can have the attitude and that, because that is what people want.
In a few short years, Naseem has taken himself and his family from a couple of rooms above his father's newsagent shop in Winco Bank, just outside Sheffield, to a world full of riches that his family could scarcely have dreamt of, and to a celebrity status in Europe and the Middle East that's put boxing back in the British sporting headlines. It's a far cry from the life of the man whom Hamed replaced as world champion, Steve Robinson, a journeyman fighter from Cardiff who appeared destined to fill up the cards for other fighters before he got his shot at a world title. When WBO featherweight champion Rubens Palacios stepped down for medical reasons, another fighter was needed to challenge for his belt. Robinson got the job at 48 hours' notice.
We decided to just go in there and just do my best, like, you know, I had nothing to lose. So I went in there and packed my bags and took the title off him. That's the greatest moment. There's nothing else that could, you know, better that, really. It's when I put my hand up and voted me as the world champion, you know, and it was amazing, you know, the way I felt. Can't beat that.
4 successful defences followed for the Welshman, but his toughest match would be a controversial one. Naseem Hamed was fighting at super bantamweight. When he moved up to featherweight, he instantly became the #1 contender for the title. A tribute to manager Frank Warren's connections, perhaps. Certainly an opportunity for his showmanship.
12 rounds for the WBO Featherweight Championship.
The first round and second and one going too bad, to be honest. But from there on, Steve's completely lost it. I mean, I know Nas was taunting him. Me and Ronnie told him what he'll do, and he done it, and he succeeded.
Actually, in the ring when you're making fun, and, you know, I think that's wrong, you know. I think you go in there and do the business, you know, you go in there and box, you know, and that's important.
Hamed very confident, standing square on there. Defence right down.
He's talking to Robinson as well. Robinson says, OK, then. He's trying to goad him into coming out of that defensive shell, and he's managed to do that, I think. Now Hamed's trying to open up, and look at Robinson trying to close the range.
There's no way that I wanted to ridicule him in any way, or wanted to make him look funny in any way. All I wanted to do is go out there and outbox him and just show 17 or 16,000 people that I was a champion of the world.
think Robinson, oh, he's got him! Down goes Robinson for only the second time in his career.
When I actually fought Hamed, he didn't make things too good for me, you know, because the way he fights and the way he makes fun and everything, which made things worse for me. But, you know, on the day, he was a better man on the day, like, you know.
And I think the referee stopped it. He stopped the fight as he slipped in the corner, and Prince Naseem Hamed is now king.
I think he really came of age that night. He bowled over lots of people, but the nature of the business is that you're put in with people who you are going to probably bowl over at any level when you're developing. And Robinson had beaten lots of good champions who had very good credentials. He outboxed him, he outmanoeuvred him, he outflanked him, and I think in the end he left him with nothing to offer. And then eventually he knocked him down with a couple of punches, and then you suddenly thought, this guy's got real talent.
I always knew that I wanted to be something outstanding. I didn't know what it was going to be at that time. You never do know at the age of 7 or whatever, but I always knew that I wanted to be totally different and just a big success. Just a very big success, but I never knew exactly what it was going to be until I walked in that gym, and I knew it was a sport for me.
Hamed is an exception, a fighter from an Arab culture where sport is a pastime, not a profession.
Arab families think it's wonderful if their kids go into sport, but they don't really believe that it's going to be their main job in life. It's all right for them to go and play football or do a bit of boxing and whatever, but they don't ever envisage that they're going to go and make it into the sort of professional area. Naz is an exception in a way. I mean, my parents didn't really want him to go into professional boxing, but it was his decision. He stuck with it, and, you know, thank God, it's worked out for the best.
Hamed has spent 2/3 of his life training under the watchful eye of Brendan Ingle, the laconic Irish trainer whose gym is a haven for disaffected youth.
I've got the best trainer in the world. Such a great man. I mean, Brendan, from an early age, as in from 7, trained me.
That's me done.
That was so hard. So hard.
He's practiced in here 7 days a week. It hasn't come easy. He's done it the hard way. He's gone up and down the motorways with like a lot of other people, but he's never been out of here 7 days a week for nearly 14, 15 years.
Brendan used to take him to shows. I mean, he'd have fighters on shows all over the country, small hall shows, and he'd have this little sort of urchin of a kid. He'd take him so he could learn. He'd sit him up on the balcony, and he'd be sitting there at 11 o'clock at night, all during those early years, watching, learning the trade.
It just became easy to me. It became so easy that it was an everyday life thing, just like getting up in the morning, going straight to the bathroom and doing what you do in the bathroom, you know. I realised that I was very, very good at it, and I realised it was going to be my living.
I've got kids like Naz, they've come in here and they didn't know their left foot from the right hand, and you start teaching them. Everybody helps one another here. And look at the mix, from blacks, whites, you know, Asians, Ligrish, all sorts. All the problems, the mismatch of human nature comes in here, and you finish up, as you start out as a boxing trainer, you finish up as a mother, father, aunt, uncle, solicitor, priest. You know, you're doing the whole lot in here. One fighter come in one day, he said, I've got a big problem. He says, you know, what is he? I says, well, I'm a bit embarrassed. So once you say he's a bit embarrassed, it's sexual. I says, what's up? He said, I've got done for flashing. What do? You do
1, 2, and then you turn and leave it there. 4, 2, 3, 4.
The hard work has paid off. As world champion, Naseem Hamed now earns more than any other British-based fighter, and the endorsements keep rolling in from around the world. The biggest to date, Adidas.
The kind of sponsorship deals that we're talking about are not going to run into the sort of hundreds of thousands or whatever. They're going to run into, you know, millions. You know, the potential is unbelievable.
As soon as that bit down there's gone off, it'll be okay.
But in a profession where you're only as good as the result of your last fight, you have to make your money when you can. The latest project, a limited edition of life-size statues.
Hey, that's going to do the lot, that is.
Despite his fame and a bank balance which could finance a gym of his own, Hamed still trains among the children and the amateurs. His celebrity status a minor distraction to the hard work of training.
Definitely tell it's an Arab hand.
Yeah, it's in somebody's pocket.
Marvellous.
You've got to be careful with this.
It says
oh,
that
look at that. Look at that.
problems.
Then it said...
5 fingers.
But what makes him better than the rest? A combination of speed, reflexes and power has swept aside everyone he's met as a professional and drawn the appreciative eye of those in the know.
Nas is unique in the sense that he doesn't do anything conventional. Everything is done in the most awkward and unusual ways. He punches you and he hits you outside of your peripheral vision. And that's why he is so destructive. Any ex-fighter will tell you that it's the punches you don't see that does the most damage. And that's certainly the case with Nas.
Eyesight, indispensable to a fighter. People don't understand what the eyes do for you, peripheral vision, the ability to see punches coming. That's why Ali never got hit. He doesn't get hit the same way. It's not that he's moving his body so much as that his eye coordination with the rest. He knows where the punches originate, so he knows how to get away. That's instinctive. You don't think about it. You don't say, oh, here comes the left hand, let me duck. It's like that. When it stops being like that, when they get old, that's when you get the beatings. When your brain tells you, here comes the left hand, it's too late, you got hit. Now, this kid's got great eyesight, got great leg movement, excellent legs. And those two things, what Ali had, great eyesight, great movement. You can combine those two. Now, with this kid, you add another element. He can punch.
Punching power on display in his return to the ring in spring 1996 after breaking a bone in his right hand.
Oh, my word! That was the right hand we were worried about.
The fight's all over. The fight is all over. His legs have gone. The referee could just call this. Nazo, I wonder if he'll back off and just let him recover. Because this fight should be stopped. That young fellow's legs are completely gone.
Hamed's disposal in 38 seconds of what some claimed was just a warm body for his return match rekindles the debate about the quality of his opponents.
The most clinical finish seen in the British ring for some time.
We've had some criticism about some of his opponents, which I think is justly unfair. I was looking at his record yesterday. I think it was about 3 or 4 years ago. He fought a guy called Lorino Ramirez, and he knocked him out in 3 rounds. 2 years after, Ramirez fought for the world title and went the distance with the champion, getting narrowly beaten the other man's country on points. He fought Vincenzo Belcastro, absolutely won every single round, stood him on his head. The following fight, off went Belcastro and lost a split decision for the world title. So they're quality fighters that he's fighting, but he's, you know, they just can't stand up to his power. That the one thing he's got for him is this tremendous punching power. I mean, if he hits them, it's all over.
You know, even though 1 or 2 of them have got good names, they're past their sell-by date. And I think he has to fight somebody that's decent, and people can turn around and say, oh, well, this is a good guy he's fighting.
It's very easy, you know, and easy to say that, but it's all about money. It's professional sport. You know, it's all about getting these guys who's, you know, am I going to fight you in America? Am I going to fight you in England? Am I going to go to Latin America? There's a lot of things to do.
He cannot continue to fight opponents such as he's been fighting because they say this is an English deal. Naseem is international. He's worldwide. He's world-renowned. And Frank and I must get together and find him the type of quality opponents that will catapult him into the greatness that is his.
In the summer of 1996, that means looking for opponents across the Atlantic. One name often mentioned at that time is the so-called baby-faced assassin, WBO's super bantamweight champion Marco Antonio Barrera, a man with a dismissive view of Hamed's ability.
Bueno, yo creo que sus características de él son muy buenas como para un circo, pero no para un cuadrilátero.
Very good. That's his opinion. I just cannot wait to prove to him who's going to be looking like a circus act at the end of the fight, because I know my ability and my talent, And through the gift of God, what He's gave me, He's going to carry me all the way, you know.
For now, though, Naseem's attentions are directed to Newcastle, where he's to fight the WBO #1 contender, the previously unbeaten Daniel Alicia of Puerto Rico.
This one said, nah, it's Naseem Hamed. I'm here to box. I just can't take the power.
The locals have no doubt as to his abilities and take the Hamed family to their hearts.
All right. This boy is Mr. Naseem's dad. How do you know? How many rounds? How do you know? I know the good looking ones. Maybe
Johnny!
maybe two or
Johnny!
three rounds. Mr. Hamed, Naseem's dad.
Number one, well said. Class.
Well, I think he's just a good performer and that. Good entertainer. He's
We're talking
a hell of a boxer. Huge big eyes, gorgeous soft skin, and a body to die for.
Inside the hall, there's a party atmosphere. One fan keen enough to get Hamed's features tattooed on his thigh. The anticipation is unique in British boxing.
When I'm about to box, it's brilliant because you're getting such a buzz from people knowing that you're just about to fight. And they're screaming upon screaming, and the atmosphere is just electric. And you feel that I'm definitely going to have to knock this geezer out. You feel that you're going to have to box to your best ability. And that's what I do. I don't let it get to me. There's no pressure on my shoulders. I just box to my best ability. And it works every time.
35 seconds, Prince Naseem.
Two unbeaten fighters, Hamed yet to be knocked down in his professional career, but surely in a higher league to Alicia.
Remember, even a battle-hardened fighter like Steve Robinson, who'd had several world title fights, could barely lay a glove on Prince Naseem. But Alicia looks full of ambition here and belief.
Yes, and certainly he's not psyched out in any way. Good
Right
hand
hand.
again.
Oh, he's got him down! Naseem is put down.
He got very careless. He thought he could just walk through everybody and blast them out. He answered a good big question at me. You know, what's his temperament going to be like?
3-8 count, down for the first time in his career. What about this in the first round?
Good solid right hand there.
Oh, left hook, and down goes Alicia. There's the answer. And he's in a bad way.
The next round, he got himself together and done what he had to do, and that was to take out a very good young fighter.
Knocked down in both rounds so far.
Heavy
right,
punches.
and a left, and I don't think he'll get up from that. It's called off. The fight is over.
The post-fight press conference shows another side to Hamed's character.
Got caught. Tested the floor out for him. When I took the shot, I knew exactly where I was. I went down. As you do, I'm only human.
Were you worried when you went down tonight?
Was I worried?
Yeah.
Did I look worried?
No.
No, I wasn't worried at all. You get hit, you get up, you white your lips, let's do it.
He did all right when he got knocked down here, but that 8th-round kid nailed him with 3 straight right hands going down. If he had had any brains and used his left hand, he could have cleaned his clock.
He gets away with it. He's just a one-off who he's off balance, he lays back, he gets no power off of his feet, and yet he lets them come on, and all of a sudden, bing, it's all over.
Right, and a left, and I don't think he'll get up from that. It's called off.
You know, boxing is a great deal of luck, and it's a great deal of going with every kind of opponent. You have to go with a left-hander, with a stinking guy from Cleveland. You got to go with a bizarre, jinky kind of guy from Africa. You got to find this. That's what's the essence and the beauty of boxing. It's one person against one person, no matter what the nationality, no matter what the color, no matter what they're talking. Once that bell sounds, they're talking the same business. Pain.
Daniel Alicia would return home to consider his future. The Hamed bandwagon simply gathers strength. Apart from a brief spell in the Yemen as a child, Naseem has lived in Sheffield all his life, along with his 8 brothers and sisters. Like many immigrant communities, the Yemenis in Sheffield have suffered from discrimination and alienation. A celebrity from their own people is a rare find.
Yemenis actually really do believe that Naseem has put them in the world map. The bank manager in your local street would have not known where Yemen is before Naseem came onto the scene. No would have the local doctor. No would have the member of parliament, yeah? But now everybody's talking about Yemen.
Naseem's father left Yemen on a boat through the Suez Canal to find work in the Sheffield Steelworks. Now, when he returns with his son to his homeland, it's first class, courtesy of the president, back to a people who see Naseem as their first ever sporting hero. In Yemen, Hamed is the equivalent of Alan Shearer, Linford Christie and Damon Hill, all rolled into one.
نسيم في الملاكمة أحسن واحد بطل العالم إن شاء الله.
الله نسيم والله حبوب وناجح يعني ونحب أن نشوفه يعني في كل دورة يعني وفي كل حلقة وفي كل يعني نفتخر به أنه جيد جدا وإن شاء الله يقوم إلى الأحسن إلى الأحسن إن شاء الله.
لاعب يمني ممتاز شجع يمني
كويس نسيم.
The adulation of the reception came as something of a surprise to Frank Warren.
I felt like I was a Christian being led through the old town, you know, ready to have my head chopped off. It was just straight. It was unbelievable. I've never seen. It's probably like Beatlemania. You know how Beatlemania was. They were just going crazy. I didn't find it threatening. It was a very unusual and unique experience. But he wasn't fazed by it at all. You know, he handled it very well.
It's just brilliant to go back to a whole country who love you, admire you, and support you and encourage you.
Hamed's fan club includes the president, Ali Abdullah Saleh.
Our village that we're from in the north of Yemen has never had electricity and water and that kind of thing. Now, when we sort of visited the village, we really wanted electricity, running water, you know, the whole infrastructure to be sort of organised and set up properly. And Naz spoke to the president about it, and within 48 hours, the whole village had water, running water and electricity, and roads starting to be sort of done up and everything.
President's a big fan, a very nice man, a very good fan, and loves to watch me box and always rings me before fights and after fights. Some very, very nice presents being given by him.
The latest are the keys to a house for his parents in an exclusive area and land for his own just outside the capital, Sana'a.
It's where my parents are from, you know, it's where they were brought up. The place is going to be a more modern place in, 5 years' time. It is a third world country, but it's the people inside it that make it, you know, they're absolutely brilliant and support me in every way. To them, it's a national hero, you know.
Yemenis are passionate about Hamed. He's even on their stamps. And in return, he's passionate about his parents' country. He's financing a gymnasium in Sana'a in the hope of producing a Yemeni to represent his country in the Olympics.
You meant to do it backwards.
But the closest thing to his heart is his family.
I've got 4 brothers and I've got 4 sisters. And my brothers and my sisters mean the world to me. But I've got 2 brothers that work for me at the moment. My elder brother, Riyadh, The guy's just got it so much upstairs, he just knows what he's doing.
Just come to have a look at it and check it out.
Got my other brother Nabil, who's the heart and soul of the fan club, and he does a very, very good job. He's very on the ball.
Join Naz's fan club. Join fan club and you end up like me and him. Rich,
Join the fan club.
famous,
It's
good
wicked,
looking.
it's bad.
And hopefully, I will have all the family on the payroll.
Yeah, that's right.
He's a typical Yemeni in many ways. He's got this art of being hospitable, this art of giving a smile when he's under pressure, this art of showing confidence. These are typical traits within Yemenis. They're great people in this sense. But I think what Naseem's done, he's revolutionised sport for the Arab world.
This is him. Hey, just set this out. All I want to do is let's walk this way. I've got something to show you. And I know you've been here quite a bit and checked out the area. I mean, very nice place.
See the vicinity.
Beautiful. This is the owner here.
He's the man.
Right here.
Right here.
Sputnik. Come on, baby.
Come on,
Gonzo.
Sputnik.
Gonzo right here. And come on.
Follow me.
All I want to show you, Simeon, is... Simeon.
No.
Simeon, all I want to know is, I know this guy speaks English very well and I respect him. I like his club, I like his people, I like how he is, his people, his friends. I respect, you know? Respect goes out to him, but I want to know what got this table from. Because this bitch cut it himself. Look, check this out, basketball. See these here? I know for a fact that these chiseled them. I can chiseled my dingling in there and fill that bitch. He chiseled the corner with a knife, right? Look at this, a proper Yemeni pool table, respect. And still, the chairman of the world, fighting out. Sheffield, England, all the way. I'm a radio.
Yeah, man.
Prince!
Jesus Christ! Interesting! Jesus Christ! Interesting!
Only in Dublin. Prince
For Naseem Hamed's next fight, the whole circus has moved to Dublin. Although disappointing ticket sales mean the evening needs some more selling, Hamed's popularity among the younger generation isn't in doubt.
He's a good boxer. Doesn't he go like this, doesn't he? Oh, he's a shaper. Pulp Fiction.
What's a shaper? What's that mean?
He does all shapes.
What other things do you like about him then? Tell me.
I'm going to play Ben's back and go bang.
Is that what
he
he
goes
does?
like this. Yeah. Remember he got knocked down and I was shocked. And then he got up and battered him, he did.
Ladies and gentlemen, a very good evening to you, and we welcome you to the official weigh-in for the big fight card coming away, 3 World Championships.
Hamed's opponent is a former world champion from Mexico, Manuel Medina, who'd beaten IBF champion Tom Johnson once. Johnson got his own back twice after that, and the tough but eloquent American is considered as a possible future opponent for Naseem. Despite the smiles, all is not perfect in the Hamed camp. He's suffering from a cold bad enough for him to be given antibiotics, but he insists on carrying on with the fight.
Naseem Hamed. What's our weight? And the weight is 9 stone even.
As always, Naseem is accompanied by the entourage from Sheffield, who have their own way of keeping Hamed relaxed.
Really good atmosphere. Very confident. All the guys are there. We're just buzzing off each other. It's a good atmosphere, really good atmosphere. Every fighter, if you've got a group of guys you train with, and you can bring them out when you're fighting, it helps you, you know? It just makes you relax, makes you at ease.
It's like bringing the gym with you, isn't it?
Yeah, and it's just the same as bringing the gym, and you just continue what you're doing in the gym.
It's like a
when you come away and
beer.
fighting.
Men behaving badly.
For one young man, that means dropping his trousers during interviews, and that's a joke too far for the organisers.
Now listen, you do what you like. You can dance on the streets naked if you like it. But when he's doing interviews, when he's doing interviews,
Yeah, keep your trousers on.
you're doing nothing to disrupt him.
No.
Because he hates doing interviews.
Yeah.
It takes him ages to do it as it is. And if you disrupt him while he's doing it, well, as you've got him to do it,
The nads.
then you see that.
Disrupt the nads. Can't disrupt the nads.
You see that.
No, it isn't.
I make sure I've got the right people around me before I fight. That's in the entourage, everybody. I make sure there's my family there. And you've got Johnny, from Johnny Nelson to Ryan Rose to Clifton Mitchell. There's loads I could be reading them off all day. I have so many with me who are just going to completely make me laugh wherever I am. And coming up to a fight is what you need, I think, to be relaxed every way possible, you know? And they do that for me.
It's like boys out, isn't it? It's like that's what it is, like the boys being away for the day, and or for the week on holiday and having a bit of fun. The suites these days are unbelievable. I mean, when they've got something like 20 people sleeping in the suite, I think it's hilarious stuff. But any damage is down to him, and we haven't taken any cars out of swimming pools yet. That's been reminding me when I was younger going to Spain.
Regular members of the entourage include former Commonwealth Cruiserweight champion Johnny Nelson and Ryan Rhodes, the youngest British fighter to claim a belt since the war.
He thinks the world of Ryan and Johnny, and they're good friends to him as well. I mean, they're not arse kissers. I mean, they tell him the facts of life when they have to, and they say how it is, and he accepts that. And I think that's what friendship's all about, and they are good friends to him. And he's a good friend to them as well.
The pre-fight press conference, a chance to get up close to Manuel Medina. More importantly for Naseem, a verbal sparring match with the acknowledged king of the featherweight division, Tom Johnson, defending his IBF belt on the same bill.
We're hoping out of this that the winners of these two contests are going to fight each other sometime in late October. From a promoter's point of view, I'm hoping that it's going to be Tom Johnson in there with Naz. I think that's a good fight. I think it's the fight the fans want to see.
And hopefully we do meet in October. And I say we both lay our purses down on the table and win and take all.
I have no problem with you laying your purse on the table.
No, you got to lay your own purse and my purse. I know you got no problem with my purse.
You have to speak for
I know
yourself.
I'm going to win.
This is the business. It doesn't matter what you think. This is the business. I mean, come on. I don't fight for free. This is my living.
You would be the soon to regret.
It wouldn't make a difference, mister. It wouldn't make a difference. And like I said, this isn't a moment to get into a best match. You need to worry about the nature at hand, and so do I. You need to stay focused on the man that's in front.
I am focused. End of the day, I want the fight.
Okay.
I want the fight.
Tom's one of the best featherweights in the world. He's met some of the best featherweights in the world, but Tom, like a lot of opponents, including Medina, McCulloch's not a featherweight, he's a bantamweight. When I finish here, I'll have a boxing conversation with any of you. But you know, if you know McCulloch's a bantamweight. He's not a featherweight. Do you know the difference between that? And we're talking about. You know, if anyone's got a valid question that's sensible, ask it. Let me finish. Let me finish this, and I'll go over here and talk to all of you. This fight in Dublin against Manuel Medina, this is his biggest test by far. It's an incredible test.
Medina, I don't believe, has the punching power to hurt him. He doesn't have enough concussive hitting power to cause him any real problems. He does have a good chin, however, so he should pose problems, and if it drags into the late rounds, it will answer a lot of questions for him.
Me siento bastante bien y pues como Naseem espero un resultado bueno para él, pues todos, con tanto él viene a ganar, yo vengo a ganar y primero que nada queremos dar una buena pelea. Tanto uno como el otro sabemos que tenemos que dar un buen espectáculo.
Hamed, of course, has his fervent supporters in Dublin.
He really is too good. He's in France.
He's a babe. He's a shaper. I like the way he dances around the ring.
He's more of a ballet dancer. I think his name should be Klasnikov or something like that there, because he's more of a ballet dancer. He's going, whoops.
It's an important night for Hamed, the fight going live to the UK, the Middle East and the United States. But the atmosphere inside the dressing room 30 minutes before the fight is far from tense.
Bongo, Jesus.
I've never seen anything like that in a dressing room. It's like going to a rave. And it's crazy timing there, you know, but he gets up on it, and it's good for him. We've cut down a bit on the amount of people who are in the dressing room now, because it was getting ridiculous. I mean, you had to look for him at the end. It was like being on a tube.
just want such a laugh all the way, from hotels to training sessions, you know, to the weigh-in, to the press conferences. I just want a big laugh all the way.
Another successful defence for Johnson, his 10th, although a lacklustre performance produced only a points decision. But the king is still on the throne.
Okay. 2 of them. Let's make sure they can. Okay.
And then when they say you're on, I'm on. Just go out, box on my best ability, knock somebody clean out.
Hamed had predicted his favourite round, the second, as the one he'd ended in. Manuel Medina and the referee had other ideas.
There's blood around the face of Medina. This is the round he predicted he'd win. The left hand puts Medina down. Is he going to be able to...
Hamed's corner are convinced that Medina has over 10 seconds to recover from the knockdown. One interested spectator, Dublin's favourite, Wayne McCulloch. Complaining of a lack of breath and facing a man who refused to give in despite tremendous punishment, the Dublin fight was to become the toughest and most brutal of Hamed's career.
Medina. Bit unsteady on his legs again, a little hard. Smile plays across the lips of Hamed as if to say, not in trouble, but there's a lull in the action, and they will have to put the gum shield back in.
Well, it didn't seem a good time to do it.
Oh, he gets through with it. Shot of his own again, it ripped Hamed's head back on his shoulders. And the warnings Hamed's had about giving his gum shield. That's why the second time around Medina's been down, and remember the 3 knockdown rule is in effect. So one more knockdown in this round by Naseem Hamed will give him this fight.
And someone at Medina's corner was up trying to wave it over there, but he's sacked hands.
Caught again with a left and another right, but Medina will not go down for the 3rd time in the round. And there are just 10 seconds left. He's rocked in again. Somehow he stays on his feet. He will not buckle this Mexican. How has he got through this? Unbelievable stuff from Medina. Looking almost bemused that Medina is still in front of him.
Medina's corner eventually pull their man out of the fight.
We got value for money tonight because Naseem is the champ and we love him and we'll follow him wherever he goes.
Oh yeah, it was a great night out. It's the first time I've ever been to a fight and I really enjoyed it.
Great respect to Manuel Medina, 2 times world champion. You've seen his skill in there. He took some good shots. I mean, you can see his face and you can see mine. It was a great fight. But at the end of the day, I'm not making no excuses whatsoever. You can hear it in my voice. I've got the biggest cold of my life, but a champion is a champion, and a winner is a winner at the end of the day, you know?
y no cumplió su promesa que iba a noquear en 2 rounds como él.
Only he say is he not commit his promise to knock me out in 2 rounds.
Está malo ser arrogante.
I wanted to cancel the fight, not cancel the fight, postpone it for a couple of weeks. Naz insisted that he'd go on and it'd be all right. And looking back, If I should have been more strong with him and said no, but he said he wanted to go on with the fight. But that's not an excuse, they are genuine facts what happened. And under those circumstances, I think it was a tremendous performance.
I wouldn't give it more than 5. But I'm telling the truth.
I think the problem is I think a lot of you people were negative towards him. I really do think you are negative towards Naseem Hamed, a lot of you. I think, and like I've said to you, quite a few of you guys are like him and get on with him, and there's quite a few people there who'd like to see him get his arse kicked.
I was very surprised by the reaction of the press in the post-fight press conference. They seemed very critical of Naz, and I was thinking about it. Why are they being so critical of a guy who had 3 knockdowns against a very, very tough opponent in Mr. Medina, got rocked himself in the 8th round, came back after that to have a spectacular 9th round and a good, strong finish with an 11th round TKO. What's their problem? Why are they criticizing this? It was a tremendous performance.
Some of them older journalists, they think, no, he's rude, he's arrogant, and they've missed the plot entirely. They just don't understand what this is all about. Britain likes to build you up, get you beat, and then they like you, because you'll become one of them again.
If you're going to be a footballer, a boxer, whatever you're going to do, a runner, Olympics, why do you want to come second?
Naz is a winner at the moment. Naz is a winner, and that's the way people, that's certainly the younger generation, want him. He's brought a new generation of fans to boxing. And I noticed when we put a show on down in Shepton Mallet, as we came out of the dressing rooms, this was about 12:30 at night, there was all kids outside. They should have been home tucked up in bed.
As long as they turn up, that's the main thing. I'm not really bothered, but I prefer them to love me and prefer them to think that, well, he is the best fighter ever came out of Britain.
As long as the, bums sort of fill the seats up and money's rolling in, you got no problem with that kind of attitude at all.
With the critics still claiming Naseem is being shielded by Warren, his next opponent has to be chosen. The press demands a fighter of Barrera's status.
Barrera's people, I made them an offer last year, quite a big offer for them for the match with Naz. And I've spoken to the manager, Ricardo Maldonado, who's a really nice guy, but they ain't going to let their fighter come here to fight Naz. But I believe they will do in time, because I think the business will call for it. It's going to be one of those big matches. They are ducking the issue, not Naz.
Next on the wish list, Azuma Nelson, the professor. Age uncertain, but quality not.
Azuma Nelson, he sat in my office. I gave him an offer of £1.2 million to fight Naz, and he went off to sign a deal with Bob Arum, Top Rank, and defend his title for $300,000. Got it all in writing.
The spotlight turns back on the IBF champion, Tom Johnson.
Yeah, man, I want one of these!
Johnson, he up to us now has trebled what he asked for originally, or what we offered him originally. And this is a guy who fights for probably the biggest purse he's ever had in his life. I think it's $200,000. We'll put times that 10, that's what he's asking for to fight Naz. So it's not financially viable at the moment.
The biggest night in British boxing fast approaching. The regulation photo call for Naseem, and the next man with the chance to stop the bandwagon, the previously undefeated Remigio Molina from Argentina.
What's your name, son?
You've got Instagram today,
I want to get it on. 2 things to say. Decent new baggies. That's right. I said it. Boy needs new
This is for the WBO Super Middleweight Championship between the British Isles' favourite 2 warriors. Firstly, the challenger and former 2 times champion of the world.
It's the old, relaxed and informal Naseem that's on display at the weigh-in.
The Dark Destroyer, Nigel.
Sharing the billing with Hamed is the rematch between WBO Super Middleweight champion Steve Collins and Nigel Benn. For a fully fit Naseem, it's a chance to show what he can really do after the difficulties of the summer.
Prince Naseem. Well, I'm told the theme of all this is that he's going to roar some defiance. He's like a caged animal there. That's what the choreography is this time. Trying to step it up now. Fast punches, good ones, and he's got him going here. A big right hand, he walked onto that. Molina took those punches extraordinarily well. How has he not gone down? At the moment, Naseem's doing what he wants. Right hand and a thunderous left. Molina, I don't think, is going to be able to carry on as he somehow got to his feet. His eyes were in orbit. He looked to us at ringside. His powers of recovery, remarkable. 3/4 of a minute left in the round. And Naseem Hamed wants to get the job done in the round that he predicted.
Well, Molina's brave, but his feet, his legs just don't look quite there. Unsteady legs, and you just think it's a matter of time now.
It is over. It is stopped in the second round. He said round 2. It is round 2.
How do you feel, champ?
I feel great.
And what's your prediction for
That's with a big G.
Now, can you justify getting paid so much for one fight?
2 rounds. Can you believe I predicted the round, the minute? Did I even predict the shot?
But you feel guilty at all?
Guilty? I dismantle men like that for breakfast, man. They come over to this country and they get prepared to get knocked out. I want from the entrance to the music to my holiday booked. Everything is set. Did my business out of there.
At the moment, Naseem's doing what he wants. Right hand and a thunderous left.
The drop shot was a good shot. Yeah. The put down shot, it was clean, flush on the chin. BAM! I bet he knows it, bro. That's the talk. Bro.
5 minutes work and it's all over. Next for Naseem, a holiday to America and an appointment at Barrera's next title defence, where, to the surprise of everyone apart from Hamed, the baby-faced assassin is beaten. Molina goes back to Argentina with one wish. I'd like Naseem to open a bank account for me, he says. Hamed has other business to attend to as well, on the other side of the Atlantic. It's a message reinforced by his first commercial for Adidas.
You will come. You will fall before him. Listen. You will listen to what he has to say. He will not be defeated. Listen, America. You're too late. He's already here. He is here.
I'm coming. I'm coming to take it. I'm coming to take over.
With the retirement of Frank Bruno and Nigel Benn, Naseem is now the jewel in Frank Warren's crown. The big money in boxing, though, is on the other side of the Atlantic. But Hamed faces a dilemma. To be recognised as the finest pound-for-pound fighter in the world, he has to be recognised in America. But Americans pay scant attention to the lighter fighters. It's still the heavyweights who get the attention.
They like heavyweights because people associate themselves with one big fighter, so they tend to term Tyson as my man, he's my man, or Larry Holmes as he's my man, he's my man. And they're not that knowledgeable about the lighter weights. The featherweights here, and let's say the lightweights, even the welterweights here, they earn a fraction of what Naseem earns. The 2 guys on the bill, just on the last Tyson bill, Felix Trinidad and Terry Norris, they made less than £500,000 for their defences. It's my understanding Naz is making that now.
Naz doesn't need to come to Las Vegas. He's already a big shot.
Away from the theme rides and casinos, Las Vegas is home to one man who's waiting for the night that one of his fighters takes on Hamed. With a track record which includes 19 world champions, including Riddick Bowe, his career in boxing has lasted over 60 years. Nobody knows more about a fighter than Eddie Futch.
He's tricky. He makes unusual, unorthodox moves that A fighter hasn't been, his opponent hasn't been accustomed to facing before, and while he's trying to figure out that move, Naseem comes up with another one. I think that he can remain a top fighter for a number of years, say. It all depends on how long he wants to be around, how hard he works for it, and how well he's matched. But right now, he's right there at the top.
As the boxing circus gathers for the next Tyson fight, Tom Johnson reflects on his last performance.
You are boom boom. I am the hit man. When you want to come up and see me, step up to the plate.
But Naseem awaits.
Till he faced me, he will never, ever be able to accept himself competitively being the best featherweight in the world. Although he ultimately may say he is, he knows the fact that he's accepted the second best. He calls himself the prince. That's where he know I sit on the throne, because I'm the king of the featherweight division. And unless you face me, your mind will never be set free.
Finally, the deals are done. Johnson will travel to London to put his belt on the line. As the fight is announced, Hamed seems unconcerned that he'll be fighting the man the American press still rate as #1.
The fans want to get snapped up and get one of these because they're wicked.
They cost £20,000.
That doesn't matter. Money is no object.
Can you do all down there, please?
Can I ask Tom Johnson, did it take much persuading to bring you over here to fight Naseem?
No, it wasn't much persuading. I've been on the quest of proving that I'm the best featherweight in the world for the last 3-4 years, and this is the one step, the second step in proving that. When I claim this title, I'll go and get the other two, and I'll be the general of the featherweight division.
We'll see about that.
Let me ask you, Naz, what you think of Tom Johnson? You've seen him fight, and it's a fight you've wanted for a while.
A fight I've been wanting for ages. I've watched him through his successful championship victories, and I think, whoa, he's done really well. He's done very, very well in my eyes. But, and this is a big but, I honestly think that my strengths are my youth, my ability, my skill, my belief in God is the main thing I'd like to get across. That it all has to end, I'm afraid, on February the 8th. And I will be the new featherweight king.
Usually not shy in predicting what's going to happen to all your fights. What do you predict for this one then?
I don't blink in round 2, that's all I'm saying. And I certainly don't want Tom to blink in round 2.
If you beat me, I will say you're a better man. Simple, plain and simple. You see, that's the difference between you and I. You made a comment that you had a cold in the Medina fight, this and that.
You could see it on me. I don't box like that.
The same Medina that you struggled with, that I beat with 2 broken hands when I won the title.
Listen,
I took that fight with 2 broken hands.
You can tell these.
Walked out of the ring, jumped on the work.
You can tell these
Don't
people
ever underestimate. Don't ever underestimate.
I do believe on 8th of February I will knock you out.
I believe you will too.
All right, in the ring I'm talking about, I'm knocking you out.
I believe you will.
That's what I believe. As long as you believe that, and I believe that, then we ain't got no problem. You just told the press now that you do believe that too.
I said the 8th of February year 2000.
I didn't believe that.
Is that what you said? What did you say? I can't hear you now.
Because you're going to lose that one to 20.
We'll see. We will see.
Anyway, without that, we're going to see.
I can't wait. End of the day, may the best man win.
I really believe that he has internalized the belief that he is on a mission, that he's here to be a legend. He wants everyone to see him and see his ideals. He is focused on becoming one of the best boxers in history.
Undisputed, unbeatable, undeniably a dynamic force in the field of boxing, a smile that is infectious. He's addictive. He's a wonderful personality. He's a dynamic guy. Assalamu alaikum.
great champion is a very eclectic mixture of characteristics. Yes, you've got to have the goods in the ring, but what separates those fighters from the superstars of the sport is personality. And Naz has buckets of personality. He has personality by the court.
I would say don't be fooled by all the flash and the feathers and everything. Under there's a tough little guy fighting with big ears. Can't get caught in a stiff wind or we'll lose him.
The only one that's going to beat him is himself. You see, look, he doesn't drink alcohol, he doesn't smoke, he doesn't gamble, he's got a steady girlfriend and he's not into drugs. What is his vices, if you call them vices, is fast cars and boxing. He likes getting in the ring, beating people up.
When Ali came on, everybody wanted to be like Ali. Every time a Rocky film goes on, everybody wants to be involved in boxing. The only trouble is, there's only one Naseem.
I'm destined for greatness and I'm destined to be a legend, and I can't let myself beat myself, you know. I'm looking to retire a legend and undefeated, to not get beat at all, and become one of the best, if not one of the best fighters in the world, if not the best. And then, as I say, only time will tell.